Hello. Uh, so this is a Perry Miniatures plastic American Civil War 28mm cavalry figure that I've altered. This thing is great. Oh, that's it. Anyway, yes. So what I'm trying to show here is the effects of a nearby shell exploding. So he's lost his leg. Well, that just snapped off when I was fettling the plastic originally, so I thought I'd just keep it like that. Have his leg just been shot off. And things like that blue water canteen that he's just dropped. The water, what I tried to show is it's not that convincing, but it looks shit in the camera, but it looks a lot better in reality because there's not much shine. The trouble is I'm having to because it's glossy. You see, it's coming out the top of the canteen. The water is coming out the spout as it drops, and I suppose the shockwave from the artillery shell might encourage the water to leave the canteen vertically or whatever. So yes, it does actually look like water in reality. It's kind of transparent and also flecked with white. Ooh, easier to move the camera down, I think. Yes, I gave him another canteen as well, because anything that implies movement is good. And then he's had his, let me show you there, this martingale thing, this T-shaped strap. Oh, these are all, the Perry Miniatures Cavalry don't have these, which is a shame, so I always put them on and carry it underneath there. It connects with the saddle, whatever, saddle strap or something, I suppose. Yes, so what else? Yes, he's kind of being shredded, the horse and the rider. So now I need to give him a name of an actual, I've done him as a colonel. He's got the 3 stars. Just about make them out on his collar. And yeah, so does anybody know of a colonel in the Battle of Franklin who was in the eastern sector, which is what I'm doing, flank, a colonel that was on horseback that had his legs shot off? And then I can name him. So if anybody could help me with that, I'd be most obliged. Because I want to name all of my figures on this diorama with participants of the battle. Because then it'll be a monument in miniature and hallowed art, which is what I have defined and created. I'm not being big-headed, I'm just surprised nobody else has thought of it yet. But anyway, I've written down my intentions on YouTube, the description and all these things, but nobody pays the blind bit of notice. I don't get any response or comments. It's very odd, but I think the truth should be shown in all its horror and beauty, and participants, or rather figures named as participants. Therefore, well, it's obviously a devotional art form, isn't it? Because there's no recognition, remuneration, and it just gets ignored what I'm doing. But it should be shown exactly as it was, or as close as possible as I can get it. All the mutilation and death. There's no point trying to sanitize it. And in my opinion, this is the noblest of art forms, because you're showing people at their best and their worst, and, well, it's human suffering and misery, isn't it? And it should be recreated to remind us what we are capable of, good or bad. People should be shocked and horrified, I believe. And all other art, visual art that is trivial in comparison. That is a fact, and there is no possible counter-argument, I'm afraid. All you art establishment people out there, you really should start to take notice, because I have defined what art should be. Anyway, I think this took about 60 hours, and I'm not arrogant. It is just unarguable fact that showing this horror and misery of humanity and animals is fundamental to our civilization. We must not try and wash over what has happened in the past. It needs to be seen as realistically as possible. Art has always disappointed me, visual art, and I find it basically egotistical bullshit. All of it. And it is very trivial and a bit effeminate. People who are recognized and remunerated for their art are not artists. They are egomaniacs. And we are subjected to an awful lot of trash visual art these days. Even paintings and films are sanitized. Thank God for reenactors, and some films are starting to show, especially Lionheart Filmworks on YouTube, they're starting to show realism in their effects of ordnance on the human body en masse. So, anyway,
I do feel that what I'm doing is fundamental for society and civilization. And this art form is the noblest, and it needs recognition. Anyway, bye.